Okay, so this one is one that I'm really just kind of, I think it's cool to be able to bring to you. This is, again, thanks to Eddie over at Toy Dojo and the guys at Bullsfire for letting me even do this. This is the very early test shot, the painted test run of their Airstrike, their version of Swoop. And then for a long time, like I think this is the same one that was on display at BotCon. I'm not positive it's the exact same one, but they didn't want it transformed. You know, they were telling Eddie they didn't want it transformed, and Eddie talked to him, and you can tell it's like the legs down here are not even all the way pinned in, and I don't want to risk trying to pin them all the way through. I'm sure there's a reason they didn't pin them all the way on. So we're going to be very delicate with this. And again, before I get into any of this, keep in mind this is still a very early. You know, this is one of the first run prototype test shots. I'm not sure, maybe not a prototype test shot for the final mold. This is not final production quality. This is not final assembly. There may be some changes. It came with no instructions. There's probably a couple of little things that I personally haven't figured out right. Most of them is like the backpack up here, like these feet. The one picture I could find of him in alt mode showed the detail of the top of the foot on this part of the angle, so it's possible maybe I missed a step, but I don't want to force anything super hard. I feel like this is, like, from what I can tell, this is pretty close to the actual transformation. There may be some minor details like these little feet may be flipped over, but I couldn't find a way to flip them over and then get them back up into this folded up collapsed position. So we'll see. Also, these claws here are clearly going to be articulated. I feel like maybe when they painted them, some of the gray paint they used on this may have fused these claws up. There's a pin right through here. These claws can clearly fold down a little bit for posing purposes, but I couldn't do it easily, and I don't want to force anything on this. So just so you know, like anytime there's something that is I don't feel like forcing something, I will let you know, just because, and it's not because I feel like the quality isn't going to be there, it's just because this is a test shot and it's fragile, and I don't want to risk breaking this test shot, which I have been very privileged to mess with. So just a disclaimer here right at the beginning. I know that's a lot of talking before we get into the meat of the thing, but I just want to make sure everybody knows this is not the final product, this is not the final quality of the product, this is just an early look at the test shot for this figure. So I'm not saying that everything that you might have a problem with on this will be fixed. I don't know. But I just want to clarify that like if you see me kind of, I don't want to bend that. It's not I'm not trying to give a false impression of the toy. I don't want to break their prototype. Because like as you can see, this claw right here has already been tacked on this side. You can see there's the hinge there, and like it's clearly supposed to move, but I don't want to risk snapping this in any way. And this gun over here is actually tacked on as well. It looks like these little guns itself underneath the wing are supposed to rotate. It rotates freely over on this side. This one's tacked on, so you're not going to see me wiggling that. So anyway, on to the figure itself. He's a nice pterodactyl. He does kind of have the fake bird feet up here, and then the real claws on the legs down here, which is neat. The sword, actually, like, there's a slot in there that is clearly designed. You can see the handle of that sword. Actually, you kind of can't see. Let me see if I can get some more light in here. Let me flip this out. You can see that right behind the head here. There you go. There's a little gap here. There's a little clip that is clearly intended to hold the sword in place for alt mode. The handle slides right up in there perfectly. And that's still a little loose, so it may fall out a little bit. But it does let the sword kind of sit in there like a prehensile, or not prehensile, vestigial tail there in alt mode. So yeah, and there's the alt mode. Go ahead and get that up there. It's staying okay, but if you shake it, it's not going to stay. And clearly it's intended to clip in there, just so you know. So yeah, and then the wings, you got the posability here and here. He's got the missile launchers. I don't believe these are going to actually... Oh, actually, you know what? Look, that looks like that may actually be modified to fire a missile. It could just be cosmetic to look like the old missile launchers. Maybe it will actually fire a missile. I don't know, again, on the final version. His mouth opens. Because of the way he transforms, you can't really... At least right now, the head itself doesn't move up or down at the neck in Dinosaur mode, but you really don't need it to. He does have a little bit of a backpack here in Dino mode, like the original toy. A really nice wingspan. I don't know if it's quite as wide as Feral Rex's in fully extended mode, but it's not insignificant. It's a pretty decent wingspan here. Probably good. At least 11, 12 inches wingspan, maybe even a lot bigger than that. Here he is real quick with Masterpiece Grimlock in Dinosaur mode, just to give you an idea of how they compare. We'll back up a little bit and show those off. They look good together. I'll go ahead and get Grimlock out of the way here. Now, here's the part where I get a little nervous, because, like I said, first one to do this. Here's the transformation to robot mode. Now, the first thing you do, obviously, is get the weapons off. So, you slide the sword out from back here. I have no idea if the sword is intended to light up with an LED. It doesn't look like it, but doesn't mean it won't. With the basic sword right here. Just pull that off. And then the missile launchers peg off from the underside of the wing here. And they peg in two places, here and up here. There's a square peg right here, and then a smaller slot that lets it peg into the hand right here that go on the other side of the wing. And then on the weapons itself, like I said, this handle flips down, up into the main weapon, and then that will peg into his hand to let him hold these as hand-mounted cannons if you so desire. So, transformation, here we go. The wings are on hinges here, so you've got some movement there to it as well as the up and down. So it helps if you start with the legs here. So pull these down just like that. Flip these panels up here, up onto his back. Now, like I said, see, these legs are not pegged in all the way, so you got to be really careful. Personally, doing this just so I don't mess up the prototype. Those will be fully pinned in on the final, obviously. But yeah, just for that. And then these fold the wings up, fold back around, and you can fold them up into the body. Again, they have a swivel there as well. Well, we'll mess with those in a little bit. I don't want to mess with those pins too much until we get them all done. So you come down here, the feet, pull them down, rotate them around. This piece actually does slide down a little bit. Flip the toe part up, flip the heel part back, and there you have his foot. There we go. Let's bring the toe in front there. So we're going to pull this down, extend it out, rotate it, flip the toe up in front of the leg there, and then flip the heel piece back and around. And there's his lower body all done with. Now the upper body is going to be very familiar to you if you are into masterpieces. Get him standing here. He actually supports his weight just fine, even when he's leaning back. You can see he's not falling over. Again, die cast, and just the way he's sitting currently, transformation-wise, is having him lean back a little bit. His ankles aren't quite as tight as they will be probably on the final version. So up here, these little panels on the front of the bird flip up, just like that, just little detail panels. And then the arms come out like this to the side. And this is where it's going to start looking familiar if you have Masterpiece Starscream, because they really kind of borrow smartly from that engineering. So bring the arms out to the side, and then you bring these panels down and around to the side, just like that. And down like this. And then the whole head assembly, or actually, these panels right here fold down like that, and then these rotate up like that. These little chest pieces here, you can see this one's rotated up, so the vents come down to the bottom like that. And then this whole piece comes down. You lower the back down on top of that, and then these little the front part of these abdomen pieces slide in to. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, see these pieces come down, and then this little front part slides in to thin the abdomen a little bit. And then the dinosaur head comes down between that. And you flip his robot head up, bring the arms down, rotate the fist down. You can see it brings out some little tech detailing there on his wrist. Rotate the whole arm. Actually lift the shoulder panel up. Like that. Rotate his arm forward. Flip up his thumb. He does have articulated fingers here. Same over here. Position the wings however you want. You can fold the wings back. And again, these there is a thigh swivel here. I believe these are are intended to be rotated around and kind of folded up onto the back here. I want to be very careful. So like I said, these aren't pegged in all the way, and I don't want to risk cracking it. Fold those up. Lock everything down. And there he is in robot mode. We'll zoom up here in just a minute to get his full robot mode. And like I said, he can hold his sword. There's a little peg in the back of his hand here, a little peg hole in the back of each hand that this peg on the sword can go into. And again, right now it's not super tight. It's just to hold it steady. You can wrap the fingers around it, and he can hold his sword. And again, same with knocked the camera off with the side of my arm there. Same with the guns. There's a little peg hole back here. You rotate it and peg it into the hand there. Wrap the fingers around it. Wrap the thumb around it. He can hold his missile launcher as a gun. And like always, you can, if you want, you can actually just fold this up. You can store the missiles on the wings as well, if you want to, kind of fold them back. So entirely up to you. Just for symmetry, I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the other wing and have him hold his sword here. But just so you know, that is an option. He can use those as guns if you wish. I don't know if he does actually still have access to that slot back here. So if you want to have him holding the double guns and just want to store the sword on his back, you can do that. That's cool. I'm trying to get him to stand here. So here we go with, here he is compared to Masterpiece Grimlock. Standard stock Masterpiece Grimlock, no boot extensions or anything. And they look really good together. And I like that there's a company like both Gigapower, and I'm looking forward to their Snarl very much, and Fans Toys have made larger Dinobots and have teased the idea that like they're probably going to get around to doing a Grimlock of their own after they do the other Dinobots. I really like that Bullsfire so far is focusing on giving us a swoop that's already very nicely in scale with Grimlock. I mean, they really do just look really nice next to each other. About the right, just look really good. So yeah, that's nice that like in that case you don't have to get another Grimlock to match the other four. It looks like they're going to try to give us the other four right off the bat to match with the Masterpiece Grimlock without any add-ons or stock or pieces or anything like that. If you just want to save a little money or whatever. So yeah, again, it could change. I don't know what the final color scheme on this guy is going to be. I don't know if they're going to go with the red or the blue. But it looks like they're doing their best to match that the already established Masterpiece aesthetic instead of trying to add a little bit more of their own flair to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, this guy's really, really neat. And again, thank you again to Eddie over at Toy Dojo and all the guys at Bullsfire who gave permission to do this, because I know what a huge risk that can be to say, hey, yeah, sure, mess with this on camera. And I'm pretty sure I figured just about everything out. Aside from maybe where the robot feet go in alt mode, I can't think of anything that I'm missing in the transformation here. But he looks really nice. There's a lot of really nice detail. Let me see if I can get up front here. Let me get a close-up of his head sculpt here. So I can get him to look up. There we go. See, he's got visor eyes. Nice head sculpt. He can turn it. He's got his little pterodactyl pteranodon piece, but just a lot of nice detail all over it. Give him once over on the figure. Nice, like nice tech detailing on the wings. The missile launchers are cool. Even on the back, the panels that flip up to fill in the backpack. A little slot to store the sword. I love the little pistons here on the back of his calves. Just all in all, it's a really nice, solid figure. And this is the test shot. Like I said, the ankles are a little loose. He's falling back a little bit. Although, like I said, even when he falls back, like you can see, there he is leaning back, and a lot of his body is die cast. He's a very hefty figure. You see, even kind of leaning back when he falls back, he's still supported. Now, obviously, he's not going to lean like that on the final version. They'll tighten up all the joints and everything. But yeah, even in this very rudimentary form, he's very well put together and very solid. And really cool to be able to check that out. That's really nice. Again, thank you guys, Eddie, Toy Dojo, and Bullsfire. Thank you so much for making this happen, because that's a really nice figure, and I'm really privileged to check it out. So thank you guys. Well, there you go. There's your first look at the Bullsfire Airstrike. In case you were, there you go. Pull those up too. In case you were curious about it. Hopefully that answered most of your questions. This is not something I'm keeping. This will be going back to Toy Dojo. I'm leaving for TFCon tomorrow. If I feel like I can safely transport him in my carry-on bag where he won't get smushed by TSA or anything, I will try to have this on display at TFCon, but no guarantees on that. But really nice figure, really great overall. It's the Bullsfire Airstrike. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this as it approaches the final version. I'm still looking forward to Gigapower Snarl. Seeing what Fans Toys has coming up their sleeve. Fans Project just announced Dinobots earlier today. And of course we've got the Fall of Cybertron style Dinobots coming from Planet X. So if you're a Dinobot fan, now's a great time to be part of it, because everybody's putting out some. We haven't seen the final Gigapower yet of Snarl, but his prototype's looking good. Scoria just came out, and aside from a few minor QC issues, like I said, it's a good, solid figure. It's a nice representation of Slag. The Planet X guys are really great. I really like Kalis. I'm really looking forward to their Sludge, or their Neptune, I believe is what they're calling him, and their future Dinobots. I'm really curious. Like, the Fans Project Slug looks really cool and stylized. I'm really looking forward to that. And this Bullsfire guy, like, this is really nice. I really am impressed with this, and I love the fact that he already matches very well and is in scale with Grimlock without having to add anything to Grimlock, without having to store any extra bits or pieces. I just knocked Grimlock over. That's what that noise was. He just fits right in with them, and again, that could change based on the final colors, but I just feel like if they've gotten all of this right, the colors will probably come out looking very nice as well. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. There's your first look at Bullsfire Airstrike. Thanks again to everybody who made it possible, and hope you enjoyed it. And I will answer what questions I can for as long as I have this prototype in hand. It will not be long. It will probably not be in my hand past Tuesday, because I probably won't get it back out tomorrow, because I'm getting ready to leave for Toronto. But whether it comes with me or not, I'll have it shipped back to Eddie ASAP. But yeah, there it is. Very cool.